Hi everyone, bonjour à toutes. Welcome to Mom's Hot Method, redefining hotness for the mother's gaze, making motherhood the growth hack experience you were looking for. Hi everyone, bonjour à toutes. This is Mom's Hot Method, and today we're going to discuss nature versus nurture, motherhood and feminism. I'm with Charlotte. Hi Charlotte.
Hi.
The very reason for this episode is that in my personal experience, I considered myself my whole life until I became a mom as a very I never questioned the fact that I was feminist. I still don't question it if feminism equal opportunities for both gender.
Yes.
But becoming a mom also made me very uncomfortable with a lot of the part of the narrative that considers that motherhood is a curse on women.
Yeah.
And that, have you ever thought about it, actually? This part of the whole curse of motherhood, and that, having kids is a burden on moms. Is that something that you've been, because in France, the woman who said this is the most popular writer. Her name is Simone de Beauvoir. Anyone who did gender study or knows a little bit about feminism would know her. She's God in France. And I was studying her, in every school you study her, and she literally says the curse of motherhood. So I had a big moment when I became a mom. Is I'm not buying that. So
Sorry,
maybe
I think
in the Netherlands.
So, is she a happy person?
No, she died and she was not. Actually, you so funny you said that, because no, I think Simone de Beauvoir, even though she said she was really happy, she was married to the biggest French philosopher, but he was cheating on her left, right, and center.
Well, there you go. It only lasts 3 years, so she was terribly unhappy for the rest of it.
Exactly.
And yeah, of course, if you're unhappy, okay, this is a very shortcut, but if you are unhappy and then you have to take care of children, it could feel like a curse maybe, because you're why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
Yes, no, you have to do it together. It's not feminist to want children, but to expect you to do it with your partner, because it is 1 and 1 is 2, and you have a child. You have to do that together.
And how do you feel? I'm sorry, but I'm going to be the
ask me anything.
evil.
I love to hear it.
I'm going to be evil advocate. For example, in the first part of the very early months of my firstborn, I was taking the night shifts because I don't know why, but I thought I could absorb it more than my husband because he has a desk job when I can work from home more. It made me feel super happy to take it off his shoulder. It makes me also feel really right. Then when I needed help, I said, listen, let's have someone that can help during the night, which by the way didn't work because I was breastfeeding, so it was just pointless. But I just feel sometimes the whole yes, doing it with your partner is great, but I know that my partner does more, my husband does more things in certain area, and I do more things in other areas. And do you know what I mean? It's not strictly equal.
But if you talk about feminism, and if you talk about equal rights in working, then there's also, you do the equal job outside of the house, so then you should share the burden inside of the house too. That's how I always saw it. I see us equal in our career, even a little bit out of balance now, in the sense that I think my career is in a more of a faster pace than him. Meanwhile, I had the children, or I had them as in literally physically had them.
Yeah.
And I always expected him to share the burden.
Okay.
And not the burden in a bad way, but we share everything we need to do. Because I think if I'm supposed to be able to do it, you're supposed to be able to do it.
Yeah, but then I agree. The thing is...
But it's very nice of you that you do that. And you should do that because you want to do it.
No, but I also think, because deep down, I think he's more of a provider and I'm going to be honest with it.
But financially, maybe. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So... I think no, but I just feel because we come from a very traditional background, men are providers, and me, whatever I make is great. And Zach the other day said, Matt, by the way, this, I don't know when sometimes you feel you can stop working. There's no way.
You cannot. No.
Yeah, exactly. He's there's no way we're affording the lifestyle that we live without you, by the way. I was thank you for saying it, because I also thought my, the money that I was making was pocket money, you know? Because also what we do is not what you do or what I do is not a desk job. So sometimes people even wonder if it's a job, you know?
No, but ultimately, I think people will never know that you can be a provider in this weird line of work, and that's fine. Let them think.
Totally. The least they know actually matters.
It's kind of funny. But I, even in that time when Thomas was really the biggest provider, it's when we had James and Stella, when I was building my business basically. But still, he was also younger, so he could do it maybe better. I don't know. But we did it really together. And I would do also by myself moments, of course, because I really am with you where you want to take something off his plate. Yeah. But an unspoken something made that we did it together. Yeah. There was no argument about it either. It was kind of a really good thing. It was harder now with the third because we're both older. Careers are more stressful because there's more dependent, because our whole life starts dependent on it, you know. Right. That it's maybe something where I would be like, oh, if you have a busy week, I'll do it. But meanwhile, I have always a busy week too. So it's like, that was stressful. But I really love that you did that though, because it also means that you connect with your partner where you know what the partner needs in that moment in time. Yeah. And I think, and I like to think that if you would have drowned and he would have seen that and he would have taken it, you know what I mean? So I think it's not a bad thing for you to have wanted that and have done that or do that sometimes. I just feel like, you know, but maybe again, like this is very much like a personal experience. I think like we are in very selfish societies where it's all about, and I'm not saying obviously anything about anyone in particular, but I think a lot of like the narrative is maximize, you know, what's good for you. And I feel as a mom, all I want to do is also maximize joy. What brings me joy. Yeah, and that is your doing little family. Yeah, it's doing something for my husband, doing something for my kids. And I do believe that sometimes, even if I feel I have an empty cup, I can still pour from it, and it actually fills it up. But isn't that love? It is love. It is love, and maybe that is what it is. Yeah, I totally agree. But I think like totally agree, and I think the problem with feminism is sometimes they take love out of the equation. It is all transaction. To be strong. Not happy. And to be by yourself. I don't want to be strong anymore. I want to be happy. That's the thing. I mean? When you just asked me about the author, and then it first comes to mind is this must be a miserable person. She was miserable. Because honestly, if she was happy, why would you call motherhood a curse? Right. And also, she didn't have kids, so she doesn't even know. She has no right to say that. It's because I think she was unbuilding the very, you know, bourgeois way of living, which is the thing is, what she didn't show is that you can have, and I think that's the whole goal of this podcast, is you can be a mother and not feeling like, you know, you're not free. I feel extremely free and empowered. To her, she was basically saying that, okay, having a kid is necessarily going to alienate you to yourself and make you someone who's just stay home. I don't know. I've never studied this person, but I'm going to look into it tonight. I just think she has absolutely never had the right to say anything about it. Period. Like literally, and I think she was so miserable for not having children maybe that she just made it up in her head that it was all bad so that made it better for herself. That's what I vibe from this. And I'm sure I'm going to read about this and have a different opinion. We can talk about it next time. I think it's not fair for someone without children to be so judgmental about it. And I also think the problem sometimes, to going back to what you said about feminism and love, and I feel sometimes, you know, this is just poor experiences of men. I feel like actually my husband, no matter how much like, you know, he works and he just wants to be supportive in everything. And he wants to be there for you. He wants to be there for me. He wants to be there for his kids. My point is like I feel like I've been, you know, going through schools in the 20s and in the 2000s, and like in the 90s, I think there's very, very strong feminist narrative that makes men the enemy. Sorry, but like, you know, like women a victim of men. And the more I've like evolved and the more I've seen that actually like there's good and bad in every gender. Very much. And I love to make the jokes about it, and we love to just like, you know, be a bit like about the men, because truly that is also really what is in us, because also that brought us where we are. No man was going to stop us, right? But ultimately we can also not do it without them, and we want them. Right. But we want them on our terms, not their terms. But on our terms, like this exactly. Is what we want. What and you design together. Yes, and that's I think a difference between this whole patriarchy where it's like all like, you know, fully focused on this like the male and the male provider, and it's not like that. It doesn't have to be like that. But again, either you need to get that example from your own mother or your parents, or you need to be strong and fight for what you think is right, what we are discussing. Because I think we both have that from our own inside more than from what we've seen.
100%. And I feel so grateful
Yeah.
for the soul that I got. Like, I had a very bad example of manhood, like, you know, in childhood, but I never gave up. I was like, no, it's not cannot all be bad. And I really wanted to get married, and I just didn't develop a trust issue. And I think the problem with part of the feminist narrative, and is that I unveiled when becoming a mom, is like, this is too much of like a fight sort of.
Yeah, it is not necessarily to be fighting about it.
But it also doesn't make you happy. If you're fighting, you're hungry and you're angry.
Yeah,
and if you're angry, you're not happy.
No.
Inner peace is real happiness.
Yeah.
And I feel if you're like, you know, believing that someone wants you wrong or... So yeah, I just, like, my whole company, I focused for, like, you know, the past 6 years on, like, female leaders, and I would not take a client to consult with if it was a man. And like, you know, and now I've a bit changed my opinion because I see men be amazing dads. I think it's just because motherhood brought, like, a different lens.
Yeah, you see different scenarios and you see it in a different way. And you see how they can actually be great contributors to a family and to a woman's career. And, but it's really something you need to find. And sometimes exactly becoming a mother helps. I mean, not everyone wants to become a mother. And I accept those choices for others. But I also think that those people who say that should also respect it the other way around. And don't judge, because they love to do that too a little bit in that ways. And I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about the things we know. I don't know how it is to not want children. I cannot personally understand that I would never want to, but I would never judge you for it. Or
I like the fact
in
that
my head, maybe I would wonder. Because
I like let's, first of all, like, you're totally right. Let's speak about things we know. It's like actually so common sense, but so right.
People love to talk about everything.
Things they don't know. And also, you know, it's let's just respect every, you know, like, if it doesn't do you any harm, like, what would you... And I feel like the whole, you know, there's a large part of a feminist writer that thinks that there's no mother instinct, and that doesn't sit right with me, because, like, if my kid is falling off the sofa, you're going to see me, like, jump in a way that, like, is animal and mammal level. It happened 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, if I had a doubt.
No, I agree with you, and I cannot imagine not having that instinct, because I know that I have it. But maybe if there are some women who don't have it.
Oui, it's possible.
It's maybe because their whole chemistry is different. Maybe they have more male in them because they don't have the intuition exactly as a female. You know, like DNA-wise, there could be certain chemistries.
And I think culturally as well.
Culturally, but maybe then they find a husband who could, you know, compromise there, that you need to have someone there. I see that sometimes. Some career women are actually really just the ones. I have some of my school mom friends, and they have the highest powerful jobs in, like, the biggest law firms, and the husbands are the stay-at-home dads. They have great jobs, but, like, smaller, but they also don't care. And it's not that they're not nice or cool or interesting, but they really did that for her, you know, for the woman. So it is there. It's little. It's not that much, but it is around.
No, I think the more, like, you know, I think at the end of the day, if we agree that there is feminine and masculine energy in the world, and it can live in different bodies, then there is no reason that there's not some households where, you know, there's more masculine energy of, like, the whole, like, providing and being like in fight mode. I just find that for me, I thought maybe that's the beauty of motherhood. It's like, it unlocks different parts of your personality sometimes. And I just thought that I was very, you know, like, maybe more, it's just like it shakes your beliefs somehow.
Yeah, it shakes your beliefs. It's a really good one. And it really makes you re-evaluate everything. And it forces you to grow and to see the world in every facet possible too.
And it's a different, actually, going back to what you said about love, how it's, you know, we say, like, isn't called love, it is. And I think motherhood is the purest type of love that there is. It's unconditional. You don't, you know, your kids love you not because you put on your makeup or whatever, did your hair or, like, made money or whatever. They just love you. And I think, to me, this is the love, this unconditional love is the love that I was craving my whole life. And when I received it from my daughters, like I sort of want to be around it all the time. I'm addicted to it. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. I
It's
really
like-
do. But I have to admit, I also had to learn that though. I had a hard time receiving it. I still do.
What do you mean?
Receiving love, yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow.
That comes from there, somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but you know that's probably, you know, when we were saying like, you know, I didn't have a mother figure, but I had my grandma. I received so much love. So I have no problem receiving.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Maybe if
that's-
she wasn't there, then I wouldn't even
Yeah.
know.
That's very interesting,
how
and
did
I'm
it
still working on that
manifest?
too. I mean, this is just working through it too. It's like therapy and
No, but
accepting.
how did you notice that? Because it's already amazing to verbalize it. How did you notice that? Oh, wow, like I struggle receiving love.
well, I cannot deal if someone hugs me out of love. Like I'm like shaking it off. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I have the same, except if it's my. You're so like that's crazy. But
so
I can't have anyone touch me except
the
if
third
it's.
child touched me so much because he's so loving physically.
Even your kids. That's what you mean.
My two older two, I've always had a harder time. I can give it to them, yes, because I know how to do that. But to receive it, I don't know. I'm maybe not like open to that, but not by choice.
Interesting.
The physical part of love, I have a hard time, and I'm not talking about sex or whatever. Like
I
that's never
understand.
been an issue. But it's really like that real love, like little touches or things, and that's where Teddy taught me that. That's so funny. Like I always say, Stella broke me open, and Teddy healed me.
Wow.
I'm
But it
not
makes
healed
sense.
yet, but it's there. It's there. But listen, Thomas would come and hug me or something. I would be like shaking it off. Whereas he's super physical. He wants to hug, and I'm not giving what he needs, and he gives me what I don't want. But like we need to, you know what I mean? Like that's hard.
It's beautiful what you said about like your daughter, and I think there is something in having a child the same gender. So I think your daughter, she gives you a mirror.
She does, and it's
And
terrifying.
a mirror of your
and
inner
pain.
child.
Yes.
So what you see, I don't know about you, but I look exactly, it's troubling. I look exactly like my firstborn when I was a child. Exactly. Which is why having her brought up all the trauma.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward then the third one maybe healing the whole thing. But
It brought something special for sure, and the way he's physical is literally like there's no way around it. So I kind of had to do it, and now still till this day, like he would wake up and the first thing he's literally always on top of me, fully, even if I want it or not. So
it's
really
also
special.
beautiful, like considering the journey. As you said, he's a love
Yeah.
child.
Yeah, no, truly, it's yeah. The more we talk about it, the more it's sort of it is special.
I think this topic is definitely something that we can also, deep dive with.
Yeah,
probably
we can
having,
continue this,
yeah,
for sure.
for sure. I also forgot to say it on the past episodes, but if you ever have like questions that you want to address, like please by all means reach out. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and you, Charlotte, for sharing your thoughts.
La, la, la.